Hello again everyone, Lord Flickalen is back, and today we will talk about a topic that, surprisingly, in the untouched territory as far as I know. Our topic for this week is Tomb of Sargeras. Why didn't we defeat Kil'jaeden for good and seal the portal behind us? Well, yes and no. Yes, we did close the gateway opened by Gul'dan through using the Pillars of Creation, all five of them. Let's remember what they were, what purpose they serve, and why they can be crucial at this point of the story, shall we? The Pillars of Creation, all named after the members of the Titan Pantheon, except Sargeras and Argus of course, because they are bad, were used to forge and shape the continents of Azeroth when the world was really young. We are talking about a time likely predates even the Sundering. Oddly enough, during that time, the Temple of Elun in Suramar, which is now called the Tomb of Sargeras, meant to serve the exact same purpose it did during Legion. War of the Ancients. After the Highborn found the pillars while hunting artifacts throughout ancient Kalimdor, they guarded them in the Vault of Antiquities in Suramar. During the War of the Ancients, the Burning Legion attempted to attack the Kaldorei on two fronts. As such, they opened a secondary portal besides the one at the Well of Eternity inside the Temple of Elun of Suramar. The Highborn, led by Grand Magistrix Elisand and opposing Queen Ashara, used the Pillars of Creation to close the portal and put several seals on the temple. After their success, the pillars were subsequently scattered across the land that would become the Broken Isles. So you see, using that exact place as a powerful gateway wasn't a new idea. The Legion tried it and actually managed to open a portal, but it has been closed through using Pillars of Creation, just like now, plus several seals across the temples. Now, during Legion, Gul'dan reactivated the seemingly dormant field of energy. Remember the fact they used the power of the Tomb of Sargeras to invade Azeroth as an alternative way to develop Eternity. So, can we say that Tomb of Sargeras, or Temple of Elun originally, had a special purpose? Located on top of a place where the ley lines of Azeroth are the most powerful.
That fell edifice towering over this land pales in comparison to the grandeur of what stood here long ago. This was always a place of power. Aegwynn was drawn here, and before her, the elves, and before them, the trolls, and before them, it was here, in ages past, that the god of the deep lost a great battle to the god of seven heads. But as was so often the case, even defeat ultimately worked in N'Zoth's favor. I don't believe these lands have seen such carnage since the battle for Catan. Such a long time ago.
You see, there is a strong possibility that the Tomb of Sargeras was something really different when it was first built for a really different purpose. This can be a video of its own, so I must leave this for another video. To get into the actual topic, Queen Ashara stole the Talisman of Golganet. How did she manage to do it under the watchful eye of Kirin Tor? Well, no one knows, but it's likely that after Khadgar's departure into Karazhan, the security measures and such would be weakened around the temple, and the Naga just sneaked past and stole the artifact. So, if the portal cannot be kept closed without all the pillars of creation in place, the giant gateway to Trinity Nether itself should be open for at least 2 years in terms of story. And nobody cares about the fact that most likely a pathway into the Trinity Nether left open. Why? Well, the most likely reason was because we were all focused on the giant sword in Silitus And the second reason, why is that you all act like the Burning Legion was actually destroyed? No, it wasn't. Yes, Kil'jaeden was dead, like canonically, he is dead inside the Twisted Nether energy field, very close to Argus. Also, yes, we destroyed the military base of the Burning Legion in Antorus and some of their experienced lieutenants, such as the Antoran High Command. But Sargeras, the Grand Leader of the Legion, is still alive, chained, imprisoned, but still alive. Also, Manoroth, one of the highest ranked commanders of the Legion, died outside of the Nether. Kandrus, one of the highest ranked members of the Natrism, included. So, what if Sargeras' second in command, the Lord of the Burning Legion, the Defiler, wasn't actually dead for good?
I can tell you our idea behind that. We might change it. This might not be canon. This might be something that we decide we're going to tinker with, right? So I'll give you. I'll try and explain what the thinking was. The idea was that the demons in the Burning Legion, they're kind of immortal in that they can exist across all the planes unless they're killed in the actual Twisting Nether itself. So killing Archimonde at the World Tree in Warcraft 3, well, you know, he was killed on Azeroth, but he would recoalesce in the Twisting Nether and come back to haunt us again. And the idea was, if you played in Mythic and you defeated Archimonde, you actually defeated him in the Nether, and then he'd be dead for good. That was the idea that we played with. We tried to explain that, and I don't know. It certainly doesn't come across in game because it's not necessarily explained in game, and maybe we'll change that. Maybe we'll change the canon of that. But that was the idea that we were working with. Was unless you rip these demons out and take them to the Twisting Nether and kill them there, they'll always keep coming back. So, but maybe that's not canon. Maybe we'll continue tinkering with that idea.
You see how Dave Kozak struggled to give a certain answer about Archimonde's fate? They give absolute answers for lore questions if the entire lore team agrees on what they will actually do. But in the case of Archimonde, just like in the case of the Sword of Sargeras, they could not give a certain answer even to this day, because likely that conflict between the mythic only phase and the ending cinematic left Archimonde's fate undecided. So, we can easily assume Archimonde was just sent to the Mystic Nether to be reformed in time, and he can easily begin another invasion of Azeroth. Also, the reason why demons were able to come back from the Nether was not actually the soul of Argus. He was only used to really accelerate the process. Now it is gone. Demons who were not present in Argus, Manoroth, Magdaridon, the list goes on, will still come back after a certain amount of time, and the uncertain fate of Archimonde, the rift under Tomb of Sargeras, the Sword of Sargeras, and the purpose for the Red Star could easily be blended into another Legion-oriented content. It doesn't have to be an enormous invasion like the one before, as we really crippled the military power of Legion, but it will be like in Warcraft 3, a special force led by the Natrism or Archimonde. Remember, while the Legion seemingly disbanded, there are countless demons out there that just hate Azeroth and its defenders, due to the fact that we defeated them 3 times so far. So, if it won't be an organized attack, it can also be just an abuse of the Unsealed Rift. At the end of the day, the Burning Legion had not been destroyed or gone forever, and in my opinion, the Legion was one of the most iconic pillars of Warcraft lore. They are the reason why the Alliance and the Horde, the so-called core players of Warcraft, exist today. They involved in the creation of the Emerald Nightmare and abused it through Xevious. They created the Lich King. Yes, that is still canon, and nothing in Shadowlands lore contradicted the fact that Kil'jaeden plotted the creation of the Lich King, and the list goes on. Also, by crippling the Legion's military power, we unwittingly helped the Void, as the Burning Legion was the most powerful and well-organized army of the cosmos. It was one of the main obstacles against the spread of Void's influence. So, there may come a time where we would understand that we need the Legion at our side. Who knows? With all that said, I don't think the upcoming expansion, Dragonflight, would end up with Archimonde or the Legion's return. No, I am not saying that. All I wanted to emphasize was a possible connection between the Red Star, the Sword in Silitus, the uncertain fate of Archimonde, and the gateway placed inside the Tomb of Sargeras. We should keep an eye on them. So, that was all for this week. As you see, I love the Burning Legion a lot, and to be honest, if you would ask me to choose between the Legion and the Old Gods, or to choose being a Warlock or a Shadow Priest, I would choose to be a Warlock. I made the Warcraft universe with Warcraft 3 back in 2003 or 2004, so the Burning Legion will always have a special place in my heart. And in my opinion, there are some valid reasons for their comeback in the future. In this video, I have tried my best to explain the reasons why. I hope you enjoyed it and may have realized some details you weren't aware of. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please drop a like and subscribe for future content. I do my best to publish at least one video for a week as a master student, so your support will be an incredible motivation for the future. Thanks for watching. Until next time, see ya.